All right, guys. Looks like I got a deal on my plate here. Was referred to me by a colleague. So I want to share with you a little bit about it, and then we can go through this, right? Breakdown. So there's a few things I do whenever I see a referral get sent to me, right? First of all, I'm gonna take it from a top level down, a bird's eye view, what's going on. So this is a deal that sent to me that it's a $4.2 million property. It was appraised for anyway. It's got three existing mortgages on it. I'll get into details in a bit, but where is it coming from? So it looks like it's coming from CIBC, and if I read further, it's come from a referral from a WFG insurance agent, which is World Financial Group, right? So, and this is basically somebody who's an insurance agent got a referral from a CIBC representative. So we're on the, not, I don't know where the CIBC got it from because the CIBC person probably can't get it. Maybe it's a direct client that walked in, perhaps, or it could be referred by another mortgage broker. We don't know, right? We don't know until we speak with the client, right? So from the surface, it looks like it's from CIBC to WFG to my colleague who's a broker. Okay. Now let's call this person Sam. So Sam got this from two other people by the looks of it. And see, before we dive into this deal, I want to say, okay, what's happening? What's going on? All right. This deal, it's got a couple hairs on it already. So the problem is not going to look at the problem yet. I'm going to look at where it's coming from source, just to determine whether the source is legitimate, whether it's good, or whether it's going to be a waste of your time, right? So how much control do you have over this client? Right now, unless you get direct control of the client, have direct access to the client to speak with the client personally, there is zero chance of this happening for me to even do this deal unless I get direct access to that client. If any of the referral partners says, sorry, Sue, we have everything has to go through me, I would say, good luck with that. Right? Because I don't want to go through a third person. Is like there's always something lost in translation. And also I don't get to see and feel what the clients is thinking, right? If I have a conversation with a client, I can tell right off the bat what's going on. And I would ask tougher questions. I would ask questions that we need to ask, right? And I can't determine that unless the client's facing with me on Zoom call, for example, or in person, right? But anyway, let's look at this. What's going on? So the CIBC person is asking for a 1 to 1.5% fee. All right. Now let's backpedal this. My brokerage fee that I charge typically on a deal like this size, a $4.2 million deal, so it's between 3 and 5, which is my sweet spot. I like, right? Now, I don't typically charge anything more than 2% if it's less than 3 million. So this is over 3 million. So I probably scale back, right? I will before I charge 1 to 1.5%. If it's really hard, then I would charge 2%. But I don't know about the deal yet. I just want to see whether it's worth our time, everybody's time involved to get this, to get money, to get paid, right? Uh, so if the CBC agent wants, the representative wants 1% to 1.5%, not worth my time. There is no way I'm going to overcharge the client. Like it just doesn't make sense, right? And it's just a band-aid solution. If the client's going to get charged 3% moving forward to get this deal done, do they have the capacity to do it? So ask this question later. Okay. Say if this were to go ahead, would the client have the capacity to pay us 3%? Right? 3% of $4 million is a ton of money to add on top. So if we have to borrow more money to add on top to get the paid out later, does it make sense? Okay, we'll ask that question as we get dive deeper. On the surface, if this is no goal, if CIBC is as adamant about getting their 1% fee, which is no, I have to charge 2-3% to make this deal work because between my colleague and I, we need to split our commission as well. And WFG is involved. I don't know how much they want to cut of this, right? So I was like, if I'm the third leg, no thanks. I could go back and say, look, you owe to them, okay, to help them. If you're lucky to get a referral fee from me, it might be a nominal fee. It might be 2,500, might be 5,000 or something like that, right? And that is pretty significant. If you're if you're a salary or a commission person working at CIBC, there's no way CIBC is doing this deal. If what I'm seeing here, the problem later, right, which I'll get to right next, is they're not going to get this done. So they're not going to get anything done anyway at CIBC by the looks of it, right? All right. What else is there? Yeah, maybe WFG is also something you might want to consider. My WFG friend is suspicious with CIBC rep. She sounds shady and desperate. Shady and desperate. Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying when somebody is asking for a big fee from CIBC. Now, I've worked a ton of colleagues from CIBC, TDs, RBC, BMO, you name it. I've worked with a lot of them. They refer me business. None of them have ever asked for a fee in the past, right? I've given them stuff, as nominal gift, as a token of my gratitude, and also try to help the client so that they're in position to go back to that bank, right? If this was from CIBC, I would try to fix the situation for them, in the next 6 to 12 or 9 months, to be able to get them back on a good foot so that they can go back to CIBC again, right? It's a new client. If it takes a year, right? It's a brand new client. So it's like a new account, so they get compensated for that. So they'll get paid more down the road. Yes, it might take a while, right? But I understand. Right? I understand that they're doing a favor to the client and doing a favor to me, referring me business, and that's not normally how it works anyway, right? But if they can't help the client's gonna go to somewhere else anyway, right? The best case scenario is I've always done my best to refer them back to the lender that have given me these clients that needs a band-aid solution, that needs maybe even fixing it up, fix the financial, fix their accounting, you know, get them a contract, get them back, not bleeding in the red, right? Get them back in the black so that they can go and be profitable, and the lender will take them back easily. All right. So step two, say the deal looks good. They don't want a fee. They don't want a commission. They just want to help the client out. They have a good heart, blah, 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 right? And that's cool. And they'll get some, a token of kind, a gift from me in later on, right? Hey, whatever they like, cognac, ticket to Whistler, ski, weekend skiing, sure, that kind of stuff I can help out with, right? It's part of our marketing budget. So anyway, let's say everything is cool and kosher, and it's a good advice of CBC sending me this deal that needs to help the client out, and I'm going ahead and get it done, right? Um, what else? Let's take a quick break here to make sure that I'm recording this stuff. Otherwise, I have to record this again later. It's going to be horrible for me. Uh, all right, it's recording. So step two, look at the problem. What's the problem? All right, the problem is they have a mortgage and two private behind it. Wow. I don't know the story yet. We have to get access to the client to find out what the story is behind the two private. What happened to the two private? Was it an issue? What happened? All right, what's the biggest issue right now is, okay, it's structured under a holding company. All right, I get that. The husband recently passed away. So who is the owner? Who are the shareholders? Who has rights to this? Owned by the husband or wife. So the wife has full ownership now, right? Sure, it may have to go to probate, it might have to go to the legal process to make sure that she has full rights to this, and not anybody else, no other partners involved or any other investors involved, right? Legal counsel has to give full, I would say, a full approval that this is good. Then we can deal with it. So what's the other issue? CRA is owed 200,000. 200,000. The heck? What happened? So arrears on paying them. So the holding company owes money to our government, the Revenue Canada, and Canadian Revenue Agency, right? Tenants are grocery store and family-owned restaurant. Both are under separate corporation. So the asset is leasing to these two other company. One of them looks like active. Yeah, they're both active business. Now, both businesses are in good shape as they claim. So, who owns those businesses? If the holding company are owned, so these sub. Okay, so it looks like it's owned by the company itself that holds this asset, right? That's almost a $4.2 million asset here. So the operating business inside are paying leases to the holding company. So the holding company is not declaring the income, and maybe they haven't paid taxes in the last year or two, even for that matter. So just on a, I'm not a legal expert, but all I know is this: Laurentian and the two private lenders will take seconds because our government, Canadian Revenue Agency, always takes first dib, no matter if there's a first mortgage on it, right? They get first priority. They need to get that debt paid off, right? So no, anything that happens needs to realize that needs to be paid off. What else is there? Holy cow, there's more problem. So three liens three liens, which is private, two private, and Laurentian, right? That's considered. CRA and another 200 grand to the daughter. So $400,000 extra. So that means $2.1 million mortgages plus the 200 grand for the CRA and 200 grand to the daughter. What gives? So the daughter probably has inside the will, right? Last will and testament from the father that the daughter gets a chunk of the change or something. All right. So on the surface, that is very, very messy. That is, I would say, whew, it's going to be a long process, and they need to get this fixed ASAP. If CRA puts impending litigation involved in this one here, that's going to throw another monkey wrench in there, right? All right. Um, as kind of a person I am, you know, I'll be very hesitant to take this deal on, knowing all this is quite messy. Uh, unless I'm gonna have a direct access to the client and to understand what exactly happened, why they're too private, and what pushed them to this point. Why? I mean, with arrears with the CRA, that $200,000 just doesn't make sense. That's only in this current year. Looks like it's probably more than 1 year's worth of taxes. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, for $200,000 old, yikes! What's the story behind that, right? To understand that and to understand the restaurant business itself and the grocery store business, we need to see financials of that because those are sounds like families own them too. If the holding company owns that restaurant and the grocery store, there are related parties, right? So we can ask for that and we need to see those numbers. Does it make sense? Will they be able to continue paying the lease that they currently have to the main company? And how much of that can the debt service? Would the DCR work? All right. If the DCR is way off, if they can't even carry 1.2, there is no way they're getting the $4.2 million. Right? There's no way. They're just not possible. They're just honestly they're asking for another band-aid solution, right? Behind the first mortgage at the two private, right? That's tough. Will another private take on? Not likely. You're like behind two private now, right? Unless they can pay out Laurentian and the two private. And I don't know about you, but the current interest rate right now, climate right now, is just ridiculous. There is no way. I just cannot see that restaurant business making that much money in today's economic time. And grocery stores typically have a low profit margin, right? Yeah, if they sell only fruits, yeah, sure, maybe they have a high profit margin, but grocery store in general aren't really high paying tenants in my books in any of my investors. Most of my investors who own these grocery stores, they have very low rent, right? But I don't have the financials, so I can't say anything about this. I don't see the numbers that I need to see yet, and I really need to talk to the clients, right? So what does it look like? Well, $4.2 million. Let's see if we can grab a calculator here quickly to run some numbers. Do, 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 do. Let's go to my Excel docs. All right, stop sharing for a minute. What's my Google Docs? Let's have a quick look. Where are we? All right. So we got 4,200, 1, 2, 3, and we need uh how much do we need? Do we need 2 point something? 2.4, 2.5, 2.5 million. So 2.5 million. It's my calculator. Come on. 4, 2, 1, 2. So some. Okay, I'll share with you guys this. So let's have a look. Share screen. All right, let's have a look here. So we need 2.5 million, and if the current interest rates are, say, man, it's getting up there, over to 8%. Just give a round number. Loan to value is good. So what do we need? We need a whack of money every month. We need, let's see. Uh, they are short by 5,000. So that means we need 28,000. Yeah, so roughly. So you guys see this? Vacancy is going to be 5% of, say, that's 1,500, say 1,500, 2,000 is fine. Not big deal. And taxes, probably around, well, the property is 4 million. It's probably more than 2,000, say 2,500, right? Now, look at that. Look at that. 20,500. Yeah. So we need about $28,500 worth of net income. And as long as the property tax, well, honestly, if the property tax is a triple net, it will be moot. So if it's a triple net, that means 26 should work. Even less, 26. Yeah, yeah. All right. So if they have $26,000 worth of triple net lease on the two businesses, then we can debt service at $2.5 million. Otherwise, there is no way. There is no way. And if we need to borrow an extra 2% of that 2.55, man, oh man, that they need they're gonna need more money if we need to borrow that extra commission for them, right? So if we need to borrow the broker fee for them, which is gonna be 50 grand, yeah, that's 2%. So 50 grand and an extra 50 grand in it, 2,550 grand, 2.5 million and 50,000. Yeah, if they're about 27,000 should be more than enough, or 26,500, right? That should be more than adequate for them to get that money that they need. Now, I don't know. right? I don't know, guys. Really need direct contact with the client to see, is this a solution? Is a band-aid solution, or is this going to be able to help them for the long run, right? Now, if we went to a private deal, if this is a private deal, they're going to need a lot more money than that current rent, right? I think 12% is not even enough. We're talking about 14% or higher in today's climate. And yeah, it ain't happening, right? It ain't happening. They would definitely have to look at maybe 30,000 or 32. Geez, yeah, 35. Oh, even more. Yeah, there's 40,000 all worth of rent. 38, right? Not enough. So 35, I think. Yeah, I'm up there. $39,000 per month. I don't think they'll get that kind of lease, right? So look up the triple net lease. If it, hopefully it is a triple net lease on those two property, right? And their financials are more than adequate. Each of their financials are able to continue paying the lease, the high paying lease, right? Balls back in their court, ladies and gentlemen. Right? They just say, show me the numbers. Let me talk to the client. Right? If you can't get those financial for me for those two different corporations that are held in the sub holdco, and I really need to speak to the accountants to make sure those numbers are good as well, right? And it's not just a bookkeeper. It's not an HR block person that did the tax filing. Maybe that's part of the reason why the CRA is after them too, right? Find out what the reason is for the CRA, because that could be important. All right. That can be very, very important. It might be just be the tip of the iceberg, for a bigger problem that they may have to, the thing about CRAs is once they have an audit going on, they will go back 7 years. And then if they find something in the seventh year, long time ago, they can go back another several years, 10 years, So it's like never ending story. And that's why, you have to have good people in your team to help you if you have a growing business, right? You gotta have a certified accountant, a chartered professional accountant, right? Not a bookkeeper. When you're running a multi-million-dollar business, yeah, multi-million-dollar property at risk for this kind of issues to prop up down the road is just horrible. That's on a different tangent is this. If partners are involved, even husband and wife, right? And if there's other siblings, not siblings, but there's children involved that are in the will that may affect this kind of business down the road like this, you better have some kind of insurance. If it's just separate partners, like the husband from two different family, yikes! Yeah, I certainly hope you have, you know, I would call it insurance planning. Have insurance on each other so that buy out the partner so that no mess involved in family, right? Otherwise, you impact the existing business that's underlying this that are leasing from this property, right? Anyhow, hopefully that helps, guys. If you have any question or if you have any idea that you want to run through my way, bring it to me, and I can do another video like this for you to give you an insight on how I think and how I would pursue this if I was going to pursue it, and what's the next step, right? I'll do another video about that, about what's the next step in a future video for you guys. Okay, take care. And hopefully you got some value of this. Let me know. Give me some feedback and how I can improve and how I can help you in your deals as well as issues that may have come up to you as well. Take care. Have an awesome day.